Okay, so now I would switch to English. And first of all, I would like to welcome you to this online session that we are conducting within our Space for V4 project. Firstly, at the beginning, okay, I will go through today's agenda and some technical information. So I would like to inform you that this online session is being recorded and we will publish then the recording on our YouTube channel. I will share with you the link as well as I will share with you the presentation of our today's speaker. So at the beginning, I will introduce you a little bit and into the project itself, and I will present a couple of information about the INOVATO as a project lead and organizer of this event. Then I will forward the word to Igor Žaček, our co-partner in this project and also in the activities, space activities that we are running now in INOVATO. They will present more information about the Slovakia Ski Space Industry Conference VITIAHConf. Then I'm happy to welcome here also the representative of Slovak Space Office, Mr. Michal Brichta, and also the representative of freshly new established East Slovakia Space Cluster and UPV Technicum, Mrs. Henrietta Dune. And at the end, we have here the representatives of two innovative space companies in Slovakia, Mr. Igor Pavlicek from the company Groundcom, and I hope that Mr. Igor Sovčík, if not already, then soon he will join us from the company Entropy Space. If you would have some questions, then please share it for the last part where we have 20 minutes for Q&A or some discussion. So you can also write the questions into the chat box, and we can go through it. Okay, so INOVATO, we are industrial entrepreneurial cluster. We have members from the whole region of Slovakia, so we are nationwide. We are a hub connecting the businesses, research institution, educational training organization, and also non-profit. And our mission is to support our members and also society in accelerating innovation, to support the collaboration, and we are trying to have some, if not economic, then the social impact. We are a very dynamic community. We are actively supporting our members and also trying to come up also with the new projects. And this project, this small space project, is one of these new activities. Some facts about us. INOVATO was established in 2018 by our 15 members and founders, mostly from industry and manufacturing companies. In 2021, we established the cluster, where we have now 70 members from different fields and sectors, from services, industry, NGOs. We have 2 universities, also R&D institution and some educational and training institutions. We are dealing with different topics from digitalization, circular economy, energy, social innovation, manufacturing, additive manufacturing, AI, and also recently also space. And as I already said, we have the members and activities across whole region of Slovakia, and also we have a couple of members from Czech Republic. What are we doing, or what is our strategy? So our services and activities are based mainly on the 3 pillars. The first one is somehow connecting and building the strong and trustful community. So we organize a lot of live events, conferences, networkings, festivals. And we are trying to, as I said, to build the relationships among our members, because we believe that if you want to proceed in cooperation or in business, you need to know each other. So we invest quite a lot in this network building. Then the second pillar is Knowledge Hub as a place for sharing knowledge. We do a lot of workshops, masterminds, focus groups, where we try to involve the members or the experts from our member companies to share their experiences or their knowledge. And we provide for our members, but also for our clients, some business tools, such as consulting. We are creating now special focused expert groups where we are trying to come up with special tailor-made services, not just for our members inside, but also for the clients. We provide also to our members a digital platform where they can also share, collaborate, and use also our digital marketplace, and share their offers and their demands. And how did we come up to the space topic? As I said, that we are a very different sector focused. So in principle, the topics and the themes that we are dealing with are coming with the new members and the interests of our members. And this was also the case with new companies related in space that joined us in last 1.5 years. These are the companies such as M2M Solutions, Space Scavengers, Entropy Space, Biscom. But as I said, that we have quite a big portion of companies from the classical industry, so machinery. This topic is also very relevant for them, especially nowadays when we know how the European industry is doing, and especially in the sector of automotive, where a lot of our members are involved now. So we are trying to bring this sector, this new, freshly developed and expanding sector, business sector, also as an opportunity for them. Up to now, we cooperate with 2 partners in Slovakia. This is Sario, the Slovak Space Office, and with Igor, the Visegrad, and we are trying to build the other relationships and other partnerships and to support this topic from bottom up, I would say. And why the project, or something more about this Space for V4 project. So this also somehow, this activity came up somehow organically. Last year I joined the Visegrad conference, and we started to discuss a little bit more with Igor about the possibilities of cooperation, how to join forces, how to somehow bring also these non-space companies more to the table and to show them the opportunities. And we decided to try this small cooperation supported with the Visegrad Fund, and we found the partners in the V4 region in order to map the possibilities of future cooperation and to bring also the new possibility for building some collaborative V4 ecosystem. Our main objective is, as I already said, to support and promote this cross-sectoral collaboration between space and non-space and traditional industries, to share knowledge, good practices, and to find whether there are the possibilities for future, maybe bigger projects. We are targeting industry, different sectors, academia, public, innovation hubs, and organization. And in this project, there are 5 partners involved. INOVATO is a lead partner. Then we have Opus Magnus, organizer of Visegrad. Then from Hungary, we have a design terminal on board. And from Poland, this is ABGI Poland. And from Czech Republic, this is South Moravian Innovation Center. And as already said, the project is supported by Visegrad Fund. And what are the key objectives or key activities that we are aiming in this project? So the first part was monitoring of the stakeholders' best practices within the member states. So we published these outputs in the blog form. So you can find 4 articles mapping the ecosystems, the space ecosystems, and stakeholders and possibilities of financing or the different activities on our webpage. Now we are in the second stage, and so these are these online trainings or the online presentation of each partner and the space ecosystem in the V4 countries. About the new activities, I'm very happy that we are, maybe Mr. Brichta will speak more about this as a big activities already being present in Slovakia, finally. and the different activities and the different events that are being held within this V4 countries. Then the next activity is VITIAConf conference, where we will present briefly also this project, the outputs, and meet our partners, and to have the space for more networking of the partners and members also from V4 countries. We will publish our best practices, what we somehow learned from this cooperation, and we will showcase some regional cooperation and space innovation insights in collective publication. And we are planning to close this project on the innovation festival INOFest, which will be held in September in Trnava, and this is already the sixth year of this event organized by INOVATO. So I'm happy to invite you also here. The main topic for this year will be also industry, and like classical industry, European industry, Slovakian industry, what are the possibilities and what are the next steps. So the topics are very interesting and very also relative or relevant for also this space sector. Okay, so that was it. And at the end, I would also like to invite you to our partners events. The similar online events will be organized also by our partner. Already on Friday, our partners from South Moravian Innovation Center are organizing this event session, this online session. Then next week, Hungary on 8th April as a part of their Space Cafe event, and we will close this online tour with Poland, BGI Poland on April 11th. You can find the registration links to all these events on our webpage. I will share this presentation with you, so you can just simply click, and you will also find all the information about the projects on our main project webpage. So that was it from my side, and I would now like to pass the word to Igor Žáček to invite us to a very interesting event. As said, I joined last year and it was really great, amazing. So Igor, stage is yours.
Okay, hi guys. Quick question, can you confirm that slides are advancing?
Yes.
Yes, we see you, we hear you.
Perfect. Okay, so hello everybody, and my name is Igor Žáček. Maybe a short introduction about me. I'm architect by training, maker by heart. By day, I'm a venture builder who is building technology-driven products such as EcoCapsule. Maybe you heard about it. But most importantly, by night, I'm organizing Space Business Conference. So the question of today is, what is VITIAConf? To put it simply, it is an international space business conference that is happening in Bratislava every year. So imagine one day event, roughly 11, maybe a bit more international speakers, to 250 visitors. That's my capacity of our room from roughly 20 countries. That's last year's number. Everybody in one room for one day focuses on business creation, especially between space and non-space actors. And you may be asking why we are putting emphasis on the space and non-space. Well, for a very long time, space industry was very, very stale industry with very little innovation, quotation marks, and most importantly, very little need for price reduction. Main client was government, and they were always paying their bills, so there was no need to put the price down. But since early 2000s, arrival of private client changed this industry forever. Price reduction became a driving factor for innovation, and suddenly industry opened itself for new ideas there and started to look above kind of like normal definition of what space industry is, and therefore there is a huge hunger for fresh ideas, for new blood. And so that's one of the reasons why we started VITIAConf, to bring in more people to space. And so what actually VITIAConf is? It's a event designed around idea that we are building relationship inside and outside of the space industry. And visitor can within one day understand what's going on in the sector, develop meaningful connections with industry leaders, and of course it's a great location and it's on a great location and have a great after party. And of course we are demystifying space industry for and make it approachable for newcomers. Whether you are entrepreneur or company exploring new verticals or just simple curious individual, it's your entry point there. It's a non-profit conference organized by volunteers. We are a group of entrepreneurs, engineers, business developers who share passion for space industry, and it is our way how we can help Slovakia and whole sea region to jump on already running space train. And it's happening in Slovakia, and yeah, surely there are many better places to organize space business conference. Why not Berlin or London? But there are two things: we are local patriots, but also since Slovakia is quite underrated or quite undiscovered location on the space map, but we have thriving ecosystem, skilled workforce, good academia, and also like a central location in Europe. It raises a lot of interest from outside within the space industry. So we are, thanks to this fact, we are bringing a lot of quality to the region. So conference is built on 3 pillars. First one is build business creation, room full of people with appetite for new business ventures, startup, corporates, SMEs. On one side, people who are working in space and searching for partners, generally coming in with a specific business problem. And on the other side, there are people who are exploring people or companies who are exploring the topic of space and essentially asking one question: how we can get in. Then we are essentially bringing global expertise to the region. Our speakers are carefully selected to maximize the impact on the region. Usually executives from startups or corporates, all are bound by a business problem that can be solved within a region. For example, yeah, one company is searching data processor, some manufacturing capabilities, and we can go on and on. Most importantly, space is an international endeavor, so bridging international gap is crucial for developing space business. Also, there's a reason why space conference is fully in English, because it's lingua franca, and without knowledge of English, frankly, you cannot develop anything in space. And of course, we are focusing on latecomers, either geographically Central and Eastern European region, or other countries without kind of like significant aerospace sector or major space history. And also, and within these regions, we are looking at the new companies and non-space actors and on the ways how to bring them in. Oh, pardon, I was quite recently sick, therefore my voice is not tip-top. So the conference program is shaped as a crash course, space business one-on-one. It's designed to equip space executives with everything needed to start their space business in more detail. They will get in-depth know-how in their respective domain, overview of upcoming trends, develop their network, understand financing, discover support tools and support organizations, and most importantly, I think I mentioned network, but anyhow, develop international network spanning the whole industry. Also, part of the program is that we have V4 startup presentations. Local companies are showcasing what they are doing. In my experience, their presence is worthwhile because it's multiplying possibilities of business generation. Essentially, you approach them or you approach speakers and start talking about business. And from last year, we saw that it's a very good approach how to bring value for visitors. And also on the top of that, we are also bringing a small cohort of local young or local youth projects, and just to show that being young, that is no disadvantage in industry, and they will compete for some nice prizes from Google and Airbus. And also, of course, we have exhibition area showcasing some companies from the region. Of course, there are support organizations like Slovak Space Office, today represented by Michal Brichta. There will be some people from regional ESA BICS, that's Business Incubation Centers of European Space Agency, and that's all. Regarding program, we are not following kind of like typical ESA upstream downstream structure. We are trying to be to do blanket cover or look from kind of like from the point of expertise. So we are looking, for example, software built is focusing on everything you can build from behind computer, hardware focus on physical product, and beyond covers business ideas a bit further in the future. This year we'll be focusing more on biotech, but generally we are bringing top-notch know-how from the respective field, also adding space finance and support, and at the end with the keynote we will close with the great vision of space in the future, how it will look future. Software part, it's more specialized. We have space data and AI. Unfortunately, today I learned that Lionel is not joining, but we have two companies. LL Cloud is a Bulgarian company, which is essentially taking all the data available from smartwatches till the satellites and building solutions on them. And Icospace, it's Italian company, purely focus on AI application in space, and these two things are quite interconnected because AI is becoming quite critical in processing space data. Regarding hardware, yes, you can build space mission in Garage. We have companies like Spherical, which they are building power systems for satellites. However, now they're actively exploring the ways how to apply their technology to terrestrial industries, for example, energy generation, photovoltaics, and also Pulispace, that's a Hungarian company. They were part of Google X Prize. They built kind of like very small moon rover and still aiming for the moon. And beyond, that's my kind of like very favorite blog. It's Beyond Rockets. We will be talking more about new drugs because, for example, ibuprofen or paracetamol are deadly in space. After a few months of exposure, they probably can kill you. So current drugs are not working in space. So we need to come up with something else. Delta Biosciences is doing that. And Spaceborne United, it's an activity which is looking at procreation in space, and essentially their terrestrial outcome will be fertility treatment. Of course, we have space finance, which is deep dive into space finance. We have venture capitalists and representatives from NATO investment division who will share their insights on funding strategies, investment trends, and how you can pitch your space idea successfully. And of course, we have institutions and support and help. Blog, we have ESA Incubation Center as part of ESA Incubation Centers from the region as part of V4 for Space program. And also we have Space Generation Advisory Council, which is essentially UN activity for youth under 35. And of course, we have we have a great tradition of bringing in some non-space guy, and this year we are bringing we are welcoming David Whitehouse, who is British astronomer, science writer, and technology and science journalist, and he wrote book Space 2069, which is essentially looking 50 years in the future, and he will help you to understand how the space industry will shape in the immediate future. And of course, it's after conference is concluded, it's followed by the great after party, usually in a very interesting location, and a few free drinks. So to sum it up, VITAConf is Space Business Conference, which will happen on 24th of April 2025 in Bratislava, Slovakia. It's a one-day event. We have over 10 or 11 speakers, 250 attendees, and we are bridging the gap between space and non-space actors. So if you have any questions, just do not hesitate to visit vichachconf.com or just shoot my email, which you can see on the screen. And I think that's all from my side. So thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. We are somehow fast. Good, thank you very much. Okay, so now we have here, as already a couple of times mentioned, Michal Brichta, the representative of Slovak Space Office. So this is like the state body or the support from the administration and the state. So I am very happy to pass you the word and to present what's new in our Slovak ecosystem, what our space ecosystem has to offer. And yeah, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you also to INOVATO and the whole IFO project for inviting us. It's a great pleasure, and I think this is a very good example of the important regional collaboration in space. Let me share my screen. If you can please confirm if you can see it on presentation mode. Wonderful. Okay. So in the next couple minutes, I would like to show you an introduction to the Slovak space sector and its current updates. I will start with explaining who we are and what we do. So the Slovak Space Office, it's not exactly a separate legal entity. So it's not like in Germany or it's not like in Poland where you have these large full-scale space agencies or space offices, since Slovakia is still rather new to the space ecosystem development, space economy and space governance. In our case, it's a rather insignificantly smaller tool that we use as a government, which is basically a one brand that unites two departments at two different ministries. So there is a Ministry of Education that covers the so-called policy side of the space governance since the very establishment of collaboration with the European Space Agency around 2010. And since then, they have been coordinating across the ministries in space. It's very cross-dimensional area which connects practically all the aspects of governance and all aspects of our activities in economy, in environment, etc. So therefore, it also covers most of the ministries of the government. They are also in charge and responsible for international commitments such as the European Space Agency, United Nations or EU and its space program, and they are responsible for space budget. Then there is the second part of the Slovak Space Office, which is under the Ministry of Economy and more precisely at the Slovak Investment and Trade Agency. And that's us. That's our small team that is responsible for three key areas. One is comprehensive sector development, which means helping new companies enter the space sector through our consultancy, particularly helping a broad variety of terrestrial technological companies in areas such as electronics, machinery, or automotive. As it was mentioned by Ms. Čapovičová, the space sector is actually quite friendly for newcomers from these high-tech and mid-tech terrestrial sectors, because at the end of the day, if you think about it in a more breakdown way, space industry, it's mainly combination of electronics, machinery, or software development. So we are working in this area actively as consultants that help actually these newcomers to understand what space economy can bring, what are the entry possibilities, what are the funding possibilities, what are the collaboration possibilities. And in most of the cases of these newcomers, we are also helping them to shape and design their entry strategy and first activities. We are also working in the area of startup creation. So we have this full chain of activities that starts with idea creation activities such as hackathons. Then it continues with our incubation program Spaceport, which we are now actually wrapping up the registration for the 4th batch. So you can still find the registration information on our webpage. We are looking for in total 6 projects. 3 of those are actually already identified. So we are still looking for 3 particular teams that will be taking up a challenge in a particular topic that is designed in collaboration with experienced companies and research organizations. And this all is complemented by our half-year incubation program that we are putting together with our business consulting and technological partners, including international partners from European Space Agency, EU Agency for Space Program, and other highly relevant international players. This then continues with support in scaling up.
Michał,
Yes.
sorry, can I distribute? I don't know. Are you moving slides? Because we still see just the first one.
No, I'm still.
No, it's
I'm still
okay.
static here.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
still static. And
Fine.
I took a bit pause here and while explaining. So I promise there are more slides. This is not it. So then we are helping also with scaling up. That's more tailored kind of consultancy activity that we work with the most livable and strong projects that emerge. And as it was already outlined earlier, there is also new phase in this whole incubation and startup support in Slovakia in the preparation, and that's the ESA Business Incubation Center. So we recently informed about a preparatory workshop that will be taking place, if I'm not mistaken, 14th of April. So there's still possibility to register. Information is also in our channels. It's right now available on LinkedIn, and it will be also shared through our newsletter coming next time, early next week. And for ESA Business Incubation Center, we cannot be directly the ones implementing, as we are part of the ESA delegation. So we will be just doing the oversight, and we are in search of an independent entity that will be taking care of this for us, and will be conducting this incubation in Slovakia, which will be taken as a natural next step of what we already have. So we aim at not creating a standalone new entity and standalone new activity. Rather, we look at including this into this chain of startup support activities, with our Spaceport incubation program playing a role of sort of a preparation of the early stage projects that will subsequently be able to go to big. We are also working on activities linked to transfer of technology, supporting connection between business and academia, and last but not least, a cluster formation, which way more will be shared by Henrietta a bit later. And last but not least, in the sector development activity, an important part here is working with local and international investors, as we are aiming at building a space economy here in Slovakia, which is not focused and dependent only on public investment. Second key area of our activities, pardon me, second key area is international collaboration. So we are, as I mentioned, part of the ESA delegation, so we are covering some of the key bodies, and it's and Slovak involvement in this. We are working directly with our counterparts in countries with offices and agencies to foster collaborations. We are also working directly with key industrial players to directly support involvement of Slovak companies and researchers in consortia and in international projects. And we use a variety of international platforms. I will show a bit more about that in later slides. Last but not least, we are doing activities around outreach. So this means broader outreach and helping the broader public understand better what space economy actually is, what it can bring and what it brings today, and also helping to foster a new generation of space talents through activities that are targeting secondary schools. So if you think about our activities, it's actually quite of a closed circuit and kind of a circle that starts with sector growth, continues with internationalization, and goes through building talent that supports the next growth. Okay, next slide. Now I will show you that I have more slides. International collaboration is definitely key here because, as we all know, space sector is highly internationalized, mainly by two reasons. It's very complex, comprehensive, and costly, and at the same time, by definition, space economy is a global economy. So it makes little sense, close to no sense, to target your business activities just on local level. Two key informations here are the involvement of our European platforms that enable creating collaborative projects. That's the European Space Agency, of which we are an associate member starting October 2022. Many people don't realize how little there is a difference between the associate and full membership from the perspective of the ecosystem, because as associate member, we can basically take up any kind of activities from the research and development perspective. So it's more about building up our capabilities right now to be able to extend our portfolio of the so-called optional programs that are enabling us to go for large-scale projects with ESA. So right now we have optional programs in 3 technological areas. These are the areas where Slovakia, upon its entrance in 2022, had the strongest, most competitive I would say background. So these are space hardware, Earth observation, and space safety. And along with building up on these strong areas through the actual optional programs, we are also having national calls to build also other technology areas to enable us in coming years to add new optional programs, which will basically enable us to collaborate on any kind of technological areas. So, but right now it's the key information also for international partners is that we have with ESA tools to do also large-scale projects and also small-scale projects with basically any technological area. Second key tool or second key stakeholder is of course the EU. Through its space program, through Horizon Europe calls, through Cassini initiatives, there is also plenty of opportunities to work with Slovak space stakeholders. So in case you are interested in working with Slovak space companies or researchers in any of these 2 platforms, we are here for you to help you identify the right people to talk to and the right stakeholders to join your activities. On the right side, there are some other platforms that are helping us to achieve our goal, having our companies and researchers working actively and successfully international, from some topic-specific ones like EURISI focusing on mainly downstream areas, or Space for Climate Observatory focusing mainly on using Earth observation in climate and environmental topics, or Artemis Accords, of which Slovakia became a part last year, focused mainly on the exploration area. 2 more broad or global focus like the International Astronautical Federation, which is the largest space association, where Slovakia is also playing an important role, not just from the perspective of sharing and gaining collaboration possibilities in the ecosystem, but also in the governments of this association. With myself having the chance to part of the leadership for 3 years now in the mid part of this term. All right, now to the ecosystem itself. So right now we have a bit more than 50 companies active in space economy in Slovakia. Nominally, it might not seem much, but we need to take into account that we're talking about very specific high-tech domain, and we also need to take into account the trend and the trajectory, how this number was evolving. Because if we were discussing this 5 years ago, the number would be about 20. So we can see that in approximately 5 years, the increase we saw was about 150%, which shows 2 things. Slovakia has a great potential, which needed to be unlocked, and we managed to unlock some good part of this potential. And this also shows that there is strong interest among Slovak businesses And again, I would just once more repeat myself. This is also thanks to the fact that space economy offers good possibilities to technology companies in terrestrial sectors, including those which are quite traditional in Slovakia. When we take a look at the breakdown of these 50 companies, we could say that it's approximately half to half divided among companies in the upstream and companies in the downstream. In the downstream area, the majority, the real majority, is concentrated in our observation area. Here we have companies working with SAR, we have companies working with optical imaging, with meteorological data, with infrared data, covering quite a, I would say, almost basically full spectrum of the types of EO data, and also covering quite wide range of application domains. So we have companies working in the area of energy, in the area of critical infrastructure, in the area of environmental monitoring, in the area of smart cities or smart transportation, etc. In the navigation positioning area, it's mainly companies focused on using GNSS signal in the transportation, mainly in road transportation. And then if we jump to the upstream part, here it's of course a bit more diverse, with the strongest domain being the spacecraft components. So we have companies working in the area of subsystems and the components in mechatronical area, in robotics, in sensors. We have companies working with small satellites, also the CubeSat area, but most recently there is, for example, very interesting new consortium focused on this sort of a mixed scale, or what we could call small satellites, but small satellites meaning satellites about 100 kilogram. This is a consortium that won a governmental grant through the EU funds, through the recovery fund, and this was actually one of the largest calls, which was not focused only on space. It was the largest innovation call here in this recovery fund scheme, and I was excited to see that 1 out of 6 successful consortia would actually focus on space. So this also shows that our companies are capable of securing funding, not just through pure space schemes, which is great because this shows their real competitivity and competitive edge also compared to other sectors. Then along with the spacecraft part, there is also a strong area with ground systems, with mechanical ground system equipment particularly. And as I also outlined through our current subscription with ESA, it's clear that the space safety domain is rather strong. So this is mainly through activities evolving around space weather or space traffic monitoring and space situational awareness. Of course, there are many newer or more niche domains here. In case you would be interested in learning some particular technological capability and learning whether it exists in Slovakia, again, don't hesitate, ever reach out to us. When we talk about Slovakia potential, we talk about not just these existing companies, but as I mentioned in our activity, we are focusing quite actively on building up this potential from the sources that we have as a small country. And as a small country, try to be efficient in this and not to missing any part of this potential. So we're not just talking about the ventures and new startups for our incubation activities, but we talk about actively about the R&D institutional background and supporting to bridge this with the industry. You might know that our researchers are actually very experienced in research and also engineering for space, dating back to as early as 1970s when they were part of Intercosmos program, and then building up these capabilities through many involvements on global scale like Rosetta, Baby Colombo, or JUICE. And once again, I repeat myself, the spin-in, that's really important part here because the terrestrial companies have a lot to offer to space. Okay, when just talking about the technology transfer, what is also one of good trend that we observe is as basically all the technical universities or universities with technical faculties are today very actively involved, both from the educational and research perspective. Active in space safety, in small satellites, in satellite hardware, utilization of Earth observation data and other areas. When we talk about the so-called spinning and diversification, indeed, the key domains that we currently work and we've been working on over the years were areas that are strong here in Slovakia. So automotive sector, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, or ICT, or even Industry 4.0. Okay. Here a bit about our work and heritage. So I said what we work, what we do. Here is a bit more about what we've done. So I explain how the Slovak Space Office is working, but the Slovak Space Office is actually a tool that we only came to possession of in 2021. So this was created in 2021. SARIO, our agency under the Ministry of Economy, has been active in space sector development since 2019. So if you look back at these 6 years of our activity in space, we observe this aforementioned 150% increase in the number of companies. We cannot say that all of those came through our hands, but 25 of them came through our hands, through our consultancy support, through our incubation program and other activities. And we are happy to say that 60 plus local and international collaboration, out of which actually the vast majority is international, was also generated for our activities, which is also great numbers to see and showing that the work that we do has a strong impact. Okay, just a snapshot of some activities that we do here on international levels. As I mentioned, we are active both on European and global scale. Mainly, all what we do is focused on helping build a good base for our industry and research to integrate in the value chains in Europe and outside. So activities evolving around missions, about representation at various congresses in Europe and outside, and also very particular activity that we do with Eurospace, the major space industry association of Europe, which is called European Space Ecosystem Integration Summit, a platform that we've built together with this prime industry association to support the integration of the new coming countries and their space ecosystem and therefore companies into the usually quite hard to penetrate value chains and supply chains. So this is something that we are organizing for the third time already this year, and which we see to be quite an important tool for us then to work more actively with the primes, with the large system integrators and mid caps, fostering a good relationship with them and using this relationship to help our companies and researchers to get in the key value chains and supply chains. A bit about our sector building and engagement activities. So starting really with secondary schools through CANSAT that we organized first time last year, and now we are in the process of finalizing semifinals this year and awaiting the final in about a month or so from now. By the way, here we see also growing interest significantly from the schools. Then the hackathons we do annually at the end of the year, Spaceport, and we'll soon see ESABIC here as well. Okay, how to stay in touch with us? We have a newsletter which is mainly for the Slovak community because we send all the information about the calls and events both in Slovakia and abroad. But for international community here, we have mainly our LinkedIn and our webpage and our space industry in Slovakia brochure, which offers a good insight into what's going on in Slovak space, who you can work with. And once again, whatever you don't find, whatever you seek, whatever you look for in Slovak space, don't hesitate to reach out to us. So just to finish, just to wrap up, my message to you, to our international audience here, is there was never better time to do space with Slovakia. I'm not just saying it because it sounds cool. I'm saying it because we have proof to that. we have really unprecedented sector size and competences reach. So as I mentioned, 150% increase in 5 years. It's not a bad trend, and the significant broadening of technological capabilities, covering now a quite broad spectrum of hardware, software for both space and in downstream, is offering a good opportunity for you to work with Slovakia in space. Unprecedented international connectivity. So as we became as a country associate member in 2022, and associate member of ESA, this is really significantly broadening the possibility to work with the European value chains and with European partners. And also the multiple platform that we became part of in the past years, enabling to reach and extend this collaboration even beyond Europe. Unprecedented funding and framework availability. So also when we look at the availability of funding 5 years ago and now, there is a huge difference. So the contribution to ESA is now 3 times as high. It's about 4.55 million a year, which is, however, also complemented by national calls. There was a recently closed call by the Ministry of Education, and also funding opportunities which are of broader tech focus. As I mentioned, this recently successful Slovak consortium in the Transformation Innovation Consortia call, which was broad tech call, securing about almost 15 million of governmental funding for purely space-focused research and development and business activity. And of course, as I mentioned, we are working not to build space economy here in Slovakia, just necessitating the public funding. So the interest of private investors is increasing in the past years. We see it also in their involvement in our startup activities and hackathons as well. And last but not least, it's unprecedented availability of young talent. That is really important here, because we see growing interest starting with secondary schools. The number of teams that register for our CANSEN basically doubled from year 1 to year 2, and we see really growing interest on all technical schools in, I would say, not past 5 years, but past year. It was the increase last year was just tremendous, seeing them involved actively in our incubation program, in our hackathons, in research activities through ESA and outside, and through education programs all across the board. So there was never better time to do space with Slovakia. We are here for you to explore this even more in detail. Feel free to reach out if you have questions, if you have some ideas, and if you have something you would like to work on with the Slovak space sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michal, for your nice presentation. And I will share also, I guess that you will give this presentation to our disposal, that I will share it with the ones that will be interested. And you already mentioned this Eastern Slovakia space cluster. So this was like the invitation for our next speaker, for Henrietta. So Henrietta, stage is yours. Please tell us something more also about you, not just about the space cluster, because I know that you are doing also quite a long time, very interesting activity. You are very active in innovation and academic and so on, and support to startups and so on. So please.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Can I just confirm that you can still see my slide okay?
Yes.
Brilliant. I can't see myself, so hopefully it's all working fine. Thank you for Michal for the lovely transition and introduction, and for leaving it on a lovely note on that it's never been a better time to join the space cluster. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present and introduce the freshly established, newly born East Slovak space cluster at today's event. And when I say we are kind of quite young, it really is, I mean it literally, because we got officially registered in January this year, so baby steps, baby shoes. But I'm really excited that we've got a group of people talking about space today. And to give you a bit of a background, and I'll probably slightly divert as well from the plan, but just to kind of, in terms of the members, the cluster has been established with 5 founding members, which have kind of really diverse background in different areas. It includes 2 universities, 2 of the biggest universities in Košice, Technical University of Košice and Košice and University of Pavel Josef Šafárik. We also have the Slovak Academy of Sciences, so very strong background in space research and academia. And then we, to counterbalance the academic side, we've got Deutsche Telekom IT Solutions from industry. And of course, as Michal mentioned, this all is, again, thanks to the great work and the groundwork that they've done at the Slovak Space Office. And thanks to this whole collaboration has been possible. The cluster is building on the region's strong heritage in space research. Some of you already know, for example, institutions like the Slovak Academy of Science have been participating in various missions for quite a while. But again, generally, I think the various faculties from the 2 universities start to get engaged in different activities in this area. So it kind of has come to a natural combination of the various initiatives and work within the sector and the academic background that we've ended up with the setup of the cluster. Our managing board has a diverse skill set from all founding members, and also our supervisory board provides essential oversight and guidance to ensure that our initiatives align with our space economy, align with our strategic goals. And as to myself, and it's really interesting when Michal was talking about the history and how we ended up kind of in Slovakia here today, talking about the space cluster. I have a bit of a sense of deja vu when in 2013 I stumbled across the space sector whilst working in the UK. I've been kind of asked to join an institution called the Satellite Application Catapult, which was a research and development organization established by INOVATO UK, the UK innovation arm. It was similar in the setup to the Fraunhofer Institute, putting together lots of great technical expertise, facilities, and also bringing together industry at Europe's one of strongest space clusters in Harwell, at the Harwell Space Cluster based near Oxford. And again, at that time in the UK, there was a kind of, again, sense of this, the world is changing, space is no longer just a business of big corporates, but it's available to new and small companies to innovate and come along as well. And we had roughly about 15 companies playing along with space data. Again, it was still the reason why the government there have actually picked the name of satellite applications rather than space at the time, because they wanted to focus on the terrestrial applications. They wanted to make sure it's not just some playing with sending up things up to space, but really wanted to see real life applications benefit for people down on Earth. And then I stayed, so it was completely new to the space sector. And by the time I left in 2021, the cluster had over 100 companies, with having ESA presence on the side as well. And ESABIC was running there already by the time I joined as well, but it just kind of gone into a new level over those past couple of years. And I also had a chance to work on another site, which was a sister part to it, at the Westcott Space Cluster. By that time, the government was happy to openly support upstream, so anything that's going up to space, initiatives as well. And we had a program for companies who wanted to send something up to space to validate space technologies, which hopefully, we will soon see here in Slovakia as well. But why am I talking about this? Because fast forward to 2025, and here we are talking about kind of a similar phase. I sense of a similar, although we've already been going a bit, well, yes, we are a bit later to the table. But it doesn't mean that the opportunities are still not open to our companies and our regions. As Michal mentioned, it is a hugely collaborative and hugely global international sector with opportunities for everyone to get involved. And I'm just delighted that having different discussions, after I returned to Slovakia, some bumping into, for example, Šimon Mackoviak, who was running already some space events for space geeks here in Košice, regular ones. Then as the University Science Park here in Košice 2 years ago collaborated with the Space Office on one of those hackathons that Michal mentioned. The pieces were starting to all come together, and then we had industry interest as well from Deutsche Telekom, who clearly recognized the potential with an IT company as well. Everything that needs to go, it's all data, storage, and other opportunities. Then the conversations continued, and we all agreed that this is something we really should start pushing forward. So in our free time, we kind of worked on lots of elements. It's not been easy to get here with all these institutions, so even just get our constitution together, but we're really delighted that we are able to be part of this initiative. And in terms of our mission, it's quite clear. We would like to establish East Slovakia as a leading hub for space research, innovation, and economic growth. We aim to foster collaboration between institutions, nurture top talent, and position our region on the global space industry map. How are we going to do that? We kind of set up 5 core objectives. Some of them are more specific, some of them are quite generic. I mentioned that growing the class or growing the sector here in East Slovakia. The second one, I think it's really important because space is such a wide area, and it's cross-sector, and there are so many downstream, terrestrial, upstream applications. But for a small region like ours, and I think it's for Slovakia, it's probably true as well, it's really important that we find some areas where we can be really excellent and where we can really kind of tap into that global sector. We can't do everything with our limited resources. And I think from the work, from the mapping that Michal and his team has done, it's kind of already showing where the strengths are and where we could potentially form some, because this will help us form better groups to apply for better more funding and to create some real proper activities. Space hubs, for example, which I know I'll tell you about, it's kind of starting to shape here as well. So that focus on certain areas, I'm not saying we have to focus just on the data, or some areas we can have a couple of core areas, but we need to be kind of really good at certain things to be able to enter the sector, because I think one thing is to say it's very global and international, but it is also very competitive. There are some brilliant innovations that we've seen over the past couple of years, but we truly believe that we do have the capability and the ability with our researchers, with our companies, to enter this competitive market, and hopefully the cluster will be able to help or guide on the way. Naturally, we would need to work closely with ESA and EU, other strategic partners. Since we've got 2 universities in our consortia, in the founding members, I think that talent is key and core, or it will be core to the activities of the cluster. I think it also nicely links into the challenge that we have here in East Slovakia with the brain drain and young talent leaving the region. I think the great thing about space is that it has the ability to attract young talent. It sounds cool, and it's got lots of opportunities for everyone. And if we just look across the faculties, not just the technical university, but at the faculty at the University of Pavol Jozef Šafárik, we can actually, as Michal mentioned, those areas, we can find for each faculty an area where they can get involved and they can engage with this sector. Oops, and I'll go back. Yes, and of course, it has to be for the benefit of our citizens as well. And we would like to kind of make sure that we help for the region to be present and recognized in globally, or let's start smallly, at least in Europe. So to support those objectives, we are going to form some working groups and really kind of get things going. One of the activities we have started is mapping what already exists within our faculties, within our companies, because otherwise we won't be able to see where the potential is or where the gaps are, and how we can then, based on this mapping and on this expertise and on understanding the expertise, how we can better focus the activities of the cluster. Another element, we mentioned that international cooperation, and I'll already give you, we were lucky enough, we have an opportunity already to host and co-organize an event here in Košice. But we need to make sure we are well connected, and not just to our neighboring countries. The V4 is a brilliant start, by the way, I think. But together we can then be more competitive, and we need to help our companies to access international initiatives. And I already mentioned this talent, retaining, developing, and attracting. We would like to make sure we can create a clear pathway for students or young talent who would like to get involved, working with our faculties and working with our industry, understanding what type of talent do they need in order to help create innovative businesses, so they don't have to kind of go for talent from overseas, or they can help us actually educate and develop this talent together. We would like to again kickstart a number of internship initiatives for businesses, but also for our researchers. I mean, one of the areas our researchers can become part of some truly international research teams and be part of bigger and better things. So again, opening up to doors for exchange programs. One thing I really loved back in the UK as well were these roles of knowledge exchange managers, who were connecting lots of different industries as well, understanding the potential of cross-sectoral exchange and collaborations as well. So again, young talent, internships, educational and outreach activities for schools, for even not just the university. Sometimes that's too late, to be honest, as well, to get people captured. So we really need to start. I mean, we were at the time when we were doing the outreach activities there, we were anywhere from nurseries to primary schools, and really kind of tailoring that message as because it's open for everyone, and whether it's somebody really technically focused or skilled, or somebody who is more kind of on the business side, it has opportunities for everyone, and we really need to get this message. And the platform for the through subjects at the university, not just voluntary subjects, who at the moment we already have these subjects as we identified, because the students don't necessarily know about them well, or they don't really understand, if I go and study this subject, what can I be? The first time I came across as an Earth observation specialist, I was kind of completely confused that, you know, who are these people, what do they do? So that awareness level is still very low. It's getting much better thanks to the amazing work as the space office team as well, but there's plenty more room for more work to be done and raise the awareness of space, the space sector here as well. And naturally, we would like to start building our membership base once we've understood this kind of the capacities, the capabilities within the region. We would love to grow our membership. We finally have a bank account. I have to share this. I never thought it's going to be this hard to get a bank account for the cluster, but we finally got a bank account as well, and we are able to sort out those kind of not as exciting tasks as well, to allow the operation of the cluster to go forward. So looking forward to engage with different companies across the region and beyond. So in terms of events, as I mentioned, we are kind of quite early stages. We are not trying to kind of have overambitious tasks. The resources, we haven't got kind of people within the cluster working. We are all doing it kind of at our own initiative at this stage. Hopefully that will change going forward. but we were already lucky enough, thanks to a connection from the Space Office, to host a event here. I'll jump onto that. Back in February, under the flagship of the European Space Agency, in collaboration with our neighbors from Hungary. I can't believe how many things have just come out from this one event, even just in the preparatory talks, by connecting to our Hungarian partner, the Hunspace, the Hungarian space cluster, which is also kind of managed by a company called Admatis, very strong heritage in mechanical engineering. Just from that conversation, from the preparatory works, we have been able to pull them into a project proposal that we submitted, and we are expecting to hear from in May through the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. So just the preparation work itself has already had some great fruitful conversations. And the two-day event was attended by over 100 attendees. The first day we spent in Hungary, where Slovak academia and industry were presenting their organizations in Hungary, and consequently we had a nice event here in Košice, the Technical University, where the Hungarian counterparts presented their innovative businesses. And because we were on the academic ground, we also had a side event for students, a space career fair, where the businesses had stands, and they were showcasing to students what kind of things they can get involved in, from space hardware to software to programming. And again, that was a really nice kind of first step to try and spread the message here amongst our students about the potential and about the possibilities for them to get involved. In terms of the follow-up, we are aware of a number of discussions between businesses, including we are awaiting a visit from Admatis next month to follow up on the potential collaboration opportunities, so that cross-border, and because we are such a small country, I think recognizing that jointly we can achieve more. If they are a bit ahead of us, I would say, in terms of the cluster exists for 10 years in Hungary, so we can do a lot of knowledge sharing as well, but also we can offer them all the expertise that we have within our companies here. So hoping to have many more of these fantastic opportunities where you just put different people together, and what comes out of it is truly, truly inspirational. But the event was a great testament of the energetic and enthusiastic drive within the space sectors in both countries. And again, Michal mentioned the CAMSAT competition. Deutsche Telekom, one of our founding members, and the Faculty of Aeronautics here from the Technical University are an active participants and organizers for this great competition for secondary schools. And I popped along to Bidovce, to the airport last week. It was rather blustery to see the actual semi-final, and it was just great to see where the students had to design a satellite, and with the help of our colleagues from the Faculty of Aeronautics, they managed to kind of get them up high and take some measurements, for example, of air, or they all had some slightly different missions. They had some compulsory elements, and that also, I think it was important to see that it doesn't always work for the first time. Sometimes after the countdown, we haven't been able to kind of launch, but it just kind of showed to students as well that it's challenging, but it can have some great fun and great benefit as well. So again, hopefully we can extend our engagement in this project and with some other activities among secondary schools and primary schools in this area. So from me, that would be in a nutshell. And most importantly, I would like to kind of have a sort of as a call out for everyone. We are early days. We are shaping our initiatives, our strategy based on the findings that we will have. The website will hopefully be live at some point next month once we gathered some knowledge, mainly on this expertise and facilities. And we've already just from the conversation with Anka earlier, we kind of explored how we can better work together to make not just East Slovakia, I think it's for Slovakia as well, an opportunity to work together and make space kind of something that will help our talent, help our companies, and help our academic institutions to find a new global, very vibrant sector that opens up doors to new opportunities, and looking forward to many more collaborations following today's presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henrietta, for great presentation. And I really like what you said about this joining forces, that not just that we are small, but I guess that the resources are small, not just from the money, but just from the personal. I know what it is to build the cluster with all the administration and this stuffs like that. And also to keep this like connecting and growing groups alive. So therefore, I'm very much happy that we met also in this topic, and we will be very supportive in whatever you want, also with the Michal, with Sario, because I also see it as a very promising sector, and not just from the business point of view or that it would be attractive, but if we see the impacts of global warming and so on, so this like space safety or this weather application and floods application, and I don't know, whatever already exists, is very much gaining the attention also for our future and our existence here on the planet, not just in space, but also on the planet. So also from this point of view, it's very relevant topic and sector. So thank you very much. And now we move also with this small intermezzo to the practice and the good practice, and I'm very happy to meet here Igor Pavlicek as a representative of the GroundCom company, the one of these, I don't know, 25 or 55, it was the Slovak companies successful in space. So Igor, maybe you can share also, besides the information about the GroundCom, also the experiences, how it was or how it is to get in the country like we are, with the support as we have, how it is even possible to get to such a successful stage and to be successful also in this international how you say, competence and concurrence like this.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. So I will very briefly introduce our company, GroundCom, and I guess that you can see my screen. But, yeah, now it should be on full screen. Okay,
it's fine.
Yeah, thank you. So. Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity again. I'm working for company GroundCom, and I can tell you several information what we do. So yeah, it's nothing new when I say that space is more accessible than before, and indeed it's true, because of technological progress and technological miniaturization. It's possible to use the satellites, which are smaller than high probes, as you see on the left side of the screen. So, and you can use these small satellites for several missions, several reasons, or several purposes, like weather monitoring, Earth observation, IoT solution, etc., etc. So usage of this technology is very various. And thanks to this, because in comparison, for example, from the price perspective, you can see that these small satellites are very cheaper than these high probes. And yes, small sub market is booming, and based on forecasts you can see that it's predicted that until 2032, for example, there will be in orbit about more than 25,000 satellites on orbit, and most of them will be part of the constellations. And also the small sat market value is or will be pretty high, so it will be more than 100 billion euros. And this is very good perspective, I can say, because thanks to this progress that we can use this satellite technology or satellite technologies for various missions. Although from the price perspective, it can be said that almost everyone can launch his own satellite and operate the satellite, but there is a problem because you need to have a communication channel. You need to communicate with your satellite, and you can communicate with the satellite through the ground station, or simply said through the antenna. And the problem is, without this communication channel, without this communication, what you have in orbit is only a debris. So this is the reason why the ground stations or why the ground segment is very important. But another problem is that you can have one ground station and you can communicate with the satellite in orbit. That's good. But you have just limited time per day. It's roughly estimation, it's about 60 minutes and 1 hour per day. You have a communication window with your satellite, but the rest of the day, 23 hours, you don't know what is going on with your satellite, and you are not capable to download the data, for example. For this reason, it's better to have several ground stations, and thanks to these ground stations, you have better connectivity. So I can say that the ideal scenario is to have as much as possible ground stations around the world. In that case, you can have the continuous and seamless communication with your satellite or satellites, and then you are unlimited time for downloading the data. But this is just in ideal world. So, and here lies the business opportunity, and this is our area, what we do. So GroundCom provides satellite communication solutions, especially ground station for communication with LEO satellites and satellite constellations. So thanks to these ground stations, you're capable to command your satellite. You can see the telemetry of the satellite, or you can download the data. What we have now, it's just several products, and like VHF ground stations, and expand and expand ground stations, and controlling software. But our main focus is to build and operate the global network of ground stations. And this service is called the ground station as a service, or infrastructure as a service. And to build this network, global network, we're still in the process of this, but so far we have several ground stations, for example, in Czech Republic, in Finland, also the ground station is in Kenya, and in this year we have a pipeline that we want to deploy other ground stations like in Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, or in Chile. So how does it work, this ground station as a service? Very simply, so satellite operator, who is our customer, has an access to our GroundCom network, and it's a cloud platform. And through this platform, he has an access to other ground stations, which are deployed around the world. So through these ground stations around the world, he can have his communication opportunity, and the customer can download the data from the satellite. He can control the satellite, etc. So it's very simple. So it's kind of a shared service like Uber or Bolt. So the customer is paying only for the time which is using for his satellite communication. Where we are now, so thankfully that we already installed several ground stations, either for our customers or within our global network. And thankfully that we installed the ground stations in Europe, also in Africa, or in Middle East. Also, we contracted some pilot customers which have or planned to have their own satellite constellations for Earth observation or for IoT solutions. When the story began, so story of GroundCom began in 2020, when the 4 smart guys from Slovakia decided to establish this company from scratch. And thanks to this idea, the GroundCom was founded. So I can say that in 2020, when the company was established, the first step was to be a part of, we participated in an incubation program. And I have to say that it was a very crucial step from the life of the company, because it was a very good start, especially during the early stage of the startup or of the company. It's very crucial to have very good support, and also the money. And that was also very important, but also the support and good mentors. Very good. So from this perspective, I can say that as an incubation program helped us a lot. And I'm very glad that Michal also mentioned that these activities are started or will be started soon in Slovakia, or were started during the spaceport. So I'm very glad to hear this. In 2022, we participated in another acceleration program in USA, and this I can also recommend to every startup to be a part of this acceleration programs, because these programs you can gain a lot of information thanks to these acceleration programs, and also you can build your network of potential customers or potential partners in the future. But it's very crucial. And for example, during this acceleration program in USA, we signed a contract with the customer from USA. For example, this customer is planning to launch almost 400 satellites in the future. We will see if he will be successful in his journey, but for us, it was very important to have signed this type of contract. Also, thanks to this, we successfully gained angel investment and started our R&D projects, where we were capable to continue in our development procedure of our ground stations. In 2023, it was another successful year from our perspective, because we gained and attracted new customers from Europe, for example, from Luxembourg, Finland, or Czech Republic. And we also gained some bridge investment, and we're capable to deliver our ground stations to the customer. In 2024, we successfully installed ground stations in, for example, in Saudi Arabia for the customer, or in Kenya. It's quite adventurous to install these ground stations in these territories, because it's another type of culture and mentality. So for us, it was very good experience. Although we attracted another customers, for example, from the area of Earth observations or IoT solutions. Although we have in our pipeline or started the R&D projects, for example, the first ESA project in October last year, and also another R&D project for improving our ground station for S-band and X-band. In this year, in 2025, we successfully closed the seed investment round, and thanks to this investment, we want to expand our coverage and to deploy, as I mentioned, to deploy new ground stations within our ground com network, for example, in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, or in Chile. And thanks to this step, we will be capable to improve our communication capacity and to attract more clients. Also, I'm happy to say that we attracted new clients from the Oman, which is another interesting area. So I'm very happy to install another ground station in this country. So this is our mission, this is our history, and I can say that it's a long distance running. So we are continue in our activities, and hopefully that our story will be successful in the future. So yeah, and this is my favorite picture, so I can show you this one. It was took during our installation trip in Saudi Arabia, and yeah, it's very funny especially for me as a Central European guy. And you can see the camel and the sitting in the Toyota. It was took in the middle of the desert at the gas station, and yeah, it's not only funny, but from another perspective, you can see two reliable means of transportation, two reliable vehicles or transportation vehicles, because also in Saudi Arabia, the camel and the Toyota are very, very reliable, and very people are using this type of transportation. But from another glance, you can read this picture as I said, that for us it is that we want to provide or offer to our clients reliable satellite communication devices, even in harsh environment. So yeah, this is our idea how to proceed. So thank you very much for your attention, and so if you will have some questions, so please ask. So thank you.
Perfect, Igor. Thank you very much also for the funny story at the end. It was funny to see the camel as a spare wheel.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. And now we have, last but not least, the second good practice in the company, and Igor Sovchik from the company Entropy Space, who will present us the project or the product Otačka and more about their activity and the plans to the future. So Igor, welcome, and now it's your time.
Hello, thank you. I'm calling from car because I was on the road, so I had to stop for this. Since I only yesterday was informed that I'm going to be presented by my colleague, because he didn't have time. So maybe the presentation will be a little bit clumsy, but I will try my best to show you what we are doing and what we are working on. Right, I will share my screen. Okay, this way. Okay, hope you can see the shared window.
Yes, we see it.
Okay, so now should be full screen. Okay, so my name is Igor Šolčík. I'm from company Entropy Space. We started basically last year, so we are in early startup phase. What we are developing is device called Otačka. It's basically microgravity simulation device. What its main purpose is to study multi-gravitational or microgravitational conditions on Earth. So basically, those kind of devices exist on Earth, and they are used at the moment, and they are developed by few companies. But we introduced a few changes into our design. We basically enable the device to be MRI safe, so you can put the whole experiment into MRI machine and scan while the experiment is running. So you can simulate microgravity conditions ranging from Mars conditions to Moon conditions to low Earth microgravity conditions on the device, while you still can scan whole the experiment inside out through magnetic resonance and thus gather better detail of the experiment you are doing. So our goal is to empower the researchers to better understand the microgravity or microgravity conditions on Earth with access to devices which are not feasible to run in space because of their energy consumption and so on and so forth. So this is basically even the current limitations are that our device is fully customizable. So if you, for example, take experiment when you need to test, for example, extremophiles on Earth conditions, you can customize the device to rapid prototyping and build it with ceramics, plastics, metal, or pretty much any sort of material to suit your experimental needs. Our device, this is the simple example how our device looks. The payload.
Sorry, Igor, but we don't see the other slides.
You don't see other slides?
No, okay. See just the first one.
Okay, wait a second. Now you can see?
Yes, now it's moving.
Okay, so I probably can't be in full screen. Okay, so once again, technological description. We can do multi-gravitational simulation in microgravity, zero gravity, moon gravity, and Mars gravity. So you have pretty much whole scale of gravitational conditions which are needed in our solar system. You have MRI safe machine, no metallic components in construction. Our stepper motors, which are running the device, are pneumatic, so that way we kind of evade using any metallic parts in our design. This is our device, and you can see some sort of visualization, even though we have a prototype already built, but this is still only visualization, so do not confuse you. what are the application? You can study microgravity influence on even in cancer research, biological samples, cellular biology, tissue engineering, and so on and so forth, and studies different material under microgravity conditions, for example, crystalline structures and so on. But mostly we focus on biological experiments. We already entered into MOU with Univerzita Libre de Brussels, Technická Univerzita Košice, and we are already signing NDA with Axiom Space at the moment. Team consists of myself and Andrej Farkas, and basically you can find our headquarters in Slovakia, and the device is still being in heavy development, but we going to see the results in end of the summer of this year. I guess we're going to have a production ready device, and that's it from our part.
Thank you very much, Igor, and also for your flexibility. It was really arranged on the last moment because, yeah, Ondro had some issues. And it was interesting also this information that this microgravity in biology and biotech, because at the beginning Igor Žaček was introducing the topics of a Visegrad conference, and that was also this biotech as a relevant topic also for the space, because some drugs are not working in the space, so that there is a development. Yeah. So maybe also this would be a possibility also for you, and I hope to see you also here in Bratislava on Visegrad, and maybe there come up some interesting connections just to think about the new project or the cooperation. What would you say, Igor?
Yeah, that's perfect. Definitely, we are open to any form of talks regarding this. We already started to cooperate on some experiment regarding living organism inside the microgravity device, but we need to scale the device to bigger size, because at the moment it's to suit the MRI machine, but in this specific experiment we're going to build it like a few meters large, so this can also be done because of the design and the scalability of device.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Super. So thank you very much once again. And we are at the end of our program, and now I would like to open the discussion. We don't have any questions in chat, so either everybody was very clear or then our participants were saving the questions to the last part. So please, if you have any question, just jump into the discussion and pose the questions. Nobody? So maybe I would like to ask Michal Brichta, you mentioned that there will be this online event discussion about this ESABIC partners and projects. Could you maybe explain or discuss or elaborate more that how this process in Slovakia will look like, or if this cooperation institution will be just one institution, or how you are planning to do this? Or Henrietta, maybe if you have some more issues, if you are still here, both of you.
I'm still here. I'm not involved in the discussions regarding the ESABIC, so hopefully Michal is still around, and I would be quite happy to join the call as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not here, Michal? From what I know, and I assume the model hasn't changed yet, the ESABIC that was in the UK, in Harwell as well, there was an open competition for organizations to bid for the management or the running of the big, but the big challenge was there always the match funding that the organization had to come up with, which again for us here in Slovakia is not as easy, and it wasn't a small amount either. I mean, there kind of with the Science and Technology Facilities Council, which was running the site, took that burden, but so again it was kind of government funding in a way, so that's why it ended up as a functional system. But again, it will be interesting to hear, you know, what are the requirements for that match funding, because I think that will be the big deciding point for who will bid for the running and managing of the ISABIC.
I see that Michal is back again. So maybe if you could, because it was interesting information.
No,
and
if
I
you
know
heard,
that
I tried to fill in the gap, Michal.
I will tackle. So the call on the 14th, it's going to be mainly by the ISABIC team. So the people from ISA that are running the call actually will be explaining what is expected from this entity that will be handling the management of ISABIC, and we will be also providing a bit of a context what we expect from the BIC. So how we expect that it will fit into the existing landscape of activities that are already being done. So this is like the two main topics that will be tackled there.
And then this organizational information, or the national, will there be the national competition, or with this co-financing, is this already clear, or you will then have to amend the scheme, how this will be working?
So the Ministry of Education managed to secure the funding fully, so there will be no necessity to secure additional funding by the bidders. So it will be only about putting together the strongest possible consortium and putting together the strongest possible proposal, and of course showcasing your experience in the field. So we are talking about business incubation in space area, which is quite a niche thing. So it's not exactly easy, but over the past years, and also through our spaceport incubation program and other activities that we're conducting, there are already several experienced entities in Slovakia. So we hope that there will be enough of good proposals and enough of strong potential leads to make sure that we will have at the end of the day really a strong ISABIC that will fulfill its function of building new startups focused purely on the space technology domain, and creating new space technology and or new application of satellite data and signal here on Earth.
Interesting. So you said that this will be, or it meant that this will be the consortia of partners, because for example in Poland or in Hungary now, our partners, this is Design Terminal, and they are serving as a ISABIC. I don't know if just as an institution, or if they have also the consortia, or what is then the scheme or the requirements that this is the consortia of partners, or in Slovakia?
I don't want to you know, say too much in advance, so let's keep it for the 14 mainly. But you know, space is collaborative area, so in order to succeed, I doubt that anybody can really succeed on their own. So therefore I would really put an emphasis on the collaborative efforts and consortia.
Makes sense, I guess. All can approve. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so if not, then I would like to thank you all for your time, for the information. As said, we will publish this on our YouTube channel. So, and if you want, then we can provide you also with a recording that you can work with that, like cut your part or whatever, or use it for the propagation. I am very happy that you joined and that we shared this information. I guess that it was very fruitful discussion and to have and share this information. And I, at least for myself, I've got a lot of hints and ideas how to cooperate or what new could we invent, or where there are these points to join our forces, as we said, more time. Okay, so I will keep you informed about our project. Again, as I already in the beginning said, if you want to be the part of our database, mainly the companies, but I guess that you are also already here. You can find this Airtable that is published on the VITIAH.conf web page. We are planning to work then with this database more and to use some more sophisticated tools to match somehow the opportunities and the actors. So because as far as we discussed, there is not yet any such a functional, a little bit more sophisticated tool working or in place within the V4 country, or even broader, not just the pure list with the data or with the contact to the companies, but we are trying to grab more information also about the infrastructure and the possibilities and what the companies are interested in. And we will also, the one of the big issue or the task is to involve also these non-space companies, this industrial players, because as said, yeah, this manufacturing and machinery is a huge part of all this game and all this sector. So if you can then share also the information about this, that there is such a possibility, then we will for sure then afterwards also share the information and the data to get the most benefit out of that. And I will be very happy to cooperate also with East Space Cluster and with all the initiatives that will come up or come out in Slovakia or even at our V4 partners. So thank you very much once again. I wish you
very much, everyone.
Nice weekend. Then if you have time, again, I invite you on Friday to our next online session from our Czech partners organized by YITS. All the information are on our web and will be on the materials that I will share with you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank
Bye
you.
all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.